Kenzo, have you ever watched those Dude Perfect videos where they're like standing on top of the Hoover Dam and they throw a basketball backwards over the edge and like it goes like 700 feet and goes through the rim? That was what
Oh
it felt
yeah.
like watching Nikola Jokic play against the Warriors in the third quarter. Like
Oh yeah.
it
And there was a
was
Dude Perfect commercial in this freaking broadcast, so very apt description of what he was doing to them.
exactly. It was just that kind of night for the Warriors. They lose 116 to 93, break their three-game winning streak. It was a three-game winning streak that I think we all kind of felt no winning streak is fake, but that was certainly one where it's you're playing the worst of the
Wasn't
worst.
strong. Yeah. It wasn't a strong winning streak, I would say.
Right. Kenzo, what was your impressions of this game beyond they just ran out of steam in the second half because they're missing Steph Curry and they're missing their closer.
Yeah, this is one where it's like you can tell like we keep saying this, like they're well coached, they're trying hard and like they're fighting, they're not giving up, they're not tanking, but they just don't have the firepower to match a guy like Nikola Jokic. Porzingis, as great as he was, 23 points, 8 of 14 from the field, he's not
Five
the kind
five
of
from
guy.
three.
Yeah, he was great. He was awesome, but you can't really expect him to go toe to toe with Jokic by himself.
He
Um,
also just can't play the minutes that
yeah.
you would. And the other guy there was Podziemski, 23 points, 5 of 8 from three. One of his better offensive games, and he's had a pretty, not pretty, he has had a strong month of March. I think everyone's going to focus on the interaction him and Porzingis had. Kenzo, walk us through that.
Basically, the ball's being swung, the ball's moving pretty well. Porzingis is open on the wing, and Pods gets the ball on the other wing. And Pods had a chance to either shoot it or swing it to Porzingis before the shot clock expired. He doesn't do either. He kind of dribbles into no man's land, which has been one of his worst tendencies, and kind
Hmm.
of chucks up this floater looking for a foul.
Yeah.
And then Porzingis was pissed. Steve was pretty pissed about that play because it led right to a Denver layup, where I think they
Did I
just
see
took the lead
Steve?
and never looked back.
I think I saw Steve say like pass the ball, like he
Pass
was
the
yelling.
ball. Yeah.
Which I don't know if this has just been exacerbated by the fact that obviously Steph isn't there and things are magnified with Brandin Podziemski, but I tweeted about this, which is never a great way to start a sentence. But
Yeah.
I've noticed that it seems like in the last I guess month he has kind of fallen back to the habit of trying to draw a foul and then looking at the ref, whether it's drawn or not. I'd be like, well, where's the foul? Instead of trying to make the shot, not every time, but
Yeah.
sometimes. Have you noticed that?
A little bit. I think he's gotten so good at foul hunting last couple games, and he's gotten really good at foul hunting that I think some of the things that he's doing, he kind of is now sort of expecting the foul. Like that play right there was like, let's try to get a foul and get to the line here. And I don't think that's exactly the wrong play all the time, but in that situation, it wasn't the right play.
Right.
And you just don't want him to get into that old habit of complaining to the refs because that was something he entered the season saying, I gotta work, I gotta be better on, I gotta be more mature
Hmm.
about. And he's been that's kind of been an up and down thing this season also with him. Recently, it's been a
Yes.
little bit better because he's been getting the calls. Tonight, he was
Yeah.
still got the line, but he wasn't getting as many of those calls
Yeah.
as he wanted.
And
Oh,
I
actually,
mean,
no, he didn't get the line. He only had two free throws tonight, so
right.
a little
But I think
complaining.
if in the NBA, you can't expect to get every call. There are going to be some
Yeah,
calls you're not going to do your way.
unless you're Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like you're not going to get every call, unfortunately. So um,
Just an unprompted shot at the probable MVP who, before the Warriors game, which was on the national NBC broadcast, was played in beautiful HD over the air.
I
Um,
mean, I don't know if you saw Mike Brown, but that dude was not happy about some of them foul calls. So
yeah,
I'm
but
not the
I
only one.
also, I mean, watching the last few minutes, it looked like Shea just kind of walked him down and closed
Yeah,
out the game.
yeah,
I
easily.
can't hate on that.
Yeah,
Looking ahead, this was a one-off road game. They'll come back. And don't worry, guys, you only have the Spurs who have lost like two games in the last 2 months. The Cavaliers who
Cavs
have picked it up and have James Harden.
and bigs,
The
a lot of bigs
and
that
bigs.
would give the Warriors trouble.
The Rockets
Actually, you know
who
what? The Rockets might be gettable. That team looks like, if we're talking body language doctor, a la Bill Simmons, that team looks
yeah,
freaking like they don't look right at
but
all in terms of
they've got
chemistry.
size. And speaking of size, Quentin Post leaves,
Yeah,
and I believe it's the second quarter. He tries to drive, and then he just pulls up, and looked like it was that same foot, that same right foot that's been bothering him for a while now.
Right foot,
As you
also the
as you can tell,
ankle.
we by the way, as you can tell, this is not we are not courtside.
Yeah.
This was
First
the
time this show. I think we've not done courtside. So
which I assume this is going to be the only time this season that this will be the case.
yeah,
Um,
first and last.
but it looked like he hurt his foot, and Al Horford's still going to be out for at least a few more days. And they'll have to, let's all use our favorite phrase, ramp him up. So you're
Ramp
going to
him
be
up.
without Al. You're going to be without Quentin. I guess a lot of Omer, a lot of Malify.
Loud Malify. Wait, just I have a question about Quinn Post for you. Like, what do you make of the season? Like, I think I was seeing online like people have been pretty bummed out with how Post has played as of late, and with Porzingis here, presumably maybe you get another big in the offseason. You re-sign Al Horford. Does what's up with Quinn Post next season? What do you kind of project for him?
I
It's hard.
he, I don't really know where he fits on this team if he's not hitting threes. Last year he hit 40% of his threes.
Yeah,
There will always be a place in the NBA for a big who hits 40% of his threes. Quentin is shooting 30, low 30s from
let me
three.
check it out. I think it's not high.
He
Um,
doesn't, he's not a particularly gifted rebounder.
33.6%, so
Right.
7% worse.
That's just, he's a guy that his entire offensive value comes from he can space the floor. And
Yeah.
it's kind of gotten to the point where it looks like teams they don't really care if he shoots. Last
No,
year, they
that's
were
the
closing
worst
it
thing you
hard.
can, yeah. For a spacer, that's the worst thing that can
Yes.
happen.
And he's not a terrible passer, but he's just, he'll keep the ball moving. He's not going to play make. And
Yeah.
his hands are not the best. So he's big, but he's not a great rim runner in that
Yeah.
aspect. So, yeah, with this team, who knows? I didn't think Gary Payton II was going to be coming back this offseason either.
He
And
looks great. He looks
he's been like
rejuvenated.
either one of their best players. Someone who else has been one of their best players has been D'Anthony Melton. He was not great tonight. 0 of 5.
Yeah. No, that's the Melton thing is we can also get into the Melton thing because I think he's gonna command some demand on the market, right?
Absolutely.
He's played well enough, he's looked healthy enough for the most part to command a good payday. But nights like this you kind of wonder like is it different on a different team? Maybe not. Again, like this is just maybe just a one-off. But
And he
also
also
like
he also sat the last game, so he was
yeah,
coming off several days of rest.
yeah. So
Um,
it is weird. It is I'm just fascinated by how much what Melton should get paid this offseason. I think he deserves a payday. I don't think the Warriors can offer the payday that he probably deserves or thinks he can get.
no, I would
And
agree.
you also got to take care of other dudes. You got to take care of Porzingis. If you're gonna
Hmm.
go big fish hunting, you probably can't prioritize Melton. You got to deal with Draymond's player option, which that's a
Yeah.
whole other story. You
Which,
know,
by the way, Draymond, I thought he was very good
look
tonight.
good, look great.
He
Yeah,
looked great. It is still jarring watching Nikola Jokic or Valanciunas or whoever be 10 feet off him and him not
yeah,
even look at the rim. I thought Green was, especially in the first half, he seemed like he was much more aggressive as a scorer. Like he was looking
yeah.
to attack. It kind of tailed off in the second half.
I mean, he was in
But
his threes, but again, that's kind of the game plan for him. Like you're fine with him hitting. Funny thing, you kind of like it when he hits threes because he's gonna keep taking them. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I mean, it again, like this game was, I wouldn't say like, they're not they didn't again they have their issues and they had their good performances here and there. I think this is just kind of the reality of the Warriors season right now.
I mean, they obviously tried. They were very obviously trying to muck up the game early. Very
Yeah,
physical. Gary Payton takes was it
Najee
Najee's
Marshall.
headband,
Yeah,
Najee
just
Marshall's headband,
yeah.
which I was like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, and then he got a flagrant foul, which I could
We
see why
debated
it was a
this.
flagrant.
I think Watson flopped like crazy there.
He upon second review, yeah, he flopped. I wouldn't have called it
I get the
flagrant.
shoulder motion looks bad. Like that you probably can't
Yeah,
do that. But the flop was sold. That's what sold the flagrant.
yeah.
Because that's
You're
like
right.
how tall is
But
Peyton Watson? 6'8",
six
whatever,
eight
like
and Gary's
220.
like 6'1" maybe. Gary's like 6'1" or
Yeah.
6'2". But like,
Yeah.
I think it was intent. I mean, obviously, it's not going to hurt the guy, but it's like they are trying to get into the Nuggets and really make them work, which is what you
Yeah.
got to do against this team. And they just, like we've said 500 times since Steph got hurt, they just ran out of steam because
Yeah.
this is kind of what this is a team full of, I would say, supporting players, right? They're
Yeah.
players that fit around a star,
Yeah.
and they're being asked to do a little bit too much, or maybe
Yeah.
too much.
Again,
Um,
if you're gonna look at the good things, it's Porzingis, 23 points. He looks
mhm.
really comfortable. I don't know, Jasmine. What do you just make of Porzingis' offseason? Like, I don't know what
20.
number to
By the way,
evaluate him
29
from.
minutes. 29 minutes
29 minutes.
played.
Like, he's looking really good. He's looking really healthy. He loves the training staff. Like, how much do you think he's gonna
Yeah,
get? How much do you think that guy's gonna get paid this offseason? I have no idea how to
I
evaluate
don't want to
that.
be a. I don't think you can be a prisoner of the moment. That's the thing. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
You can say, "Oh well, he's had this really good stretch of games." Yes, but then remember he had a mysterious 2 week illness that
Yeah.
we're like, oh, it just kind of popped up, and every time he falls to the floor, don't you hold your breath? You're like, oh, no, we
I
don't
mean, there was
know.
that one play where Draymond overthrew him. He got fouled, but like he reached up and it looked like that play in Detroit where he
Yes.
strained his back and he kind of held his back and I was like, oh, is he did he just strain
Uh
his back again? He's fine, but again, it's that thing. It's like the back of your head. It's kind of like that. Hate to say it, that Anthony Davis. Like, is he okay if he goes to the floor? Like, I don't
that
know.
that that and that's why I still think I don't know what his I'm not in every NBA GM's office, but I still think he's going to get closer to the minimum than he will to what he's obviously what he's making now.
Yeah, like 20 million right now.
And
Yeah, I don't.
he's not getting some long-term deal. It's going to be I think a 1 year prove it deal, which
Yeah.
is I think if a team is smart, that's what they'll do. They'll see if he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, he's in his early 30s, and then you can give him a longer deal.
Yeah, I mean, things are trending towards Porzingis like coming back to the Warriors. It seems mutually like positive. I think a couple of people have been reporting that recently. I think Marcus Thompson might have reported that today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't think the Warriors have to worry too much about him like departing. But again, I don't know what that number is going to be. And you could tell me anything. It's going to be like 2 million to like 18 million. I kind of can believe any of those numbers based on like what we've seen so far.
Since we're not actually at the game, and I'll go back and listen to what Steve and players had to say later. Just we'll throw this out here because we haven't really talked about him in a few days or since we were in Atlanta. But Jonathan Kuminga,
Oh, we doing it? Let's do
you
it.
kind of you're keeping an eye. I keep an eye on how he does, and it seems like either he's scoring a very efficient like 17 points, or he's just not scoring at all.
I'm pulling up the
On
game logs. Yeah.
it's what do you think? What do you make of, I guess, from what you've seen of Jonathan Kuminga? Because we have actually watched some Hawks games,
They've been
which by the way
on
they're a
pregame.
very
Yeah.
fun they're a very fun team to watch.
I don't, here's my thing. I don't think Jonathan Kuminga makes the Hawks a fun team to watch. I think if you watch those games and they're winning games, like I'm not
Jalen
gonna take that away from the
Johnson,
Hawks. It's
Jalen
Jalen
Johnson's a
Johnson, it's
dude.
CJ McCollum, it's Nikhil Alexander
Nikhil,
Walker.
yeah,
Like I think Kuminga has issues that he's had with the Warriors.
and St. Mary's alum Jock Landale.
And Jock and Jock Landale, yeah. But I think Kuminga has the same issues that he had in Golden State. He kind of stops the ball movement. He doesn't really flow in the offense. He takes some bad shots, some like bad
Mm-hmm.
Kobe mid-range shots that just I don't think you should be taking if you're in his position. I think the defense is pretty solid.
Yeah.
He's a good point of attack ball guy, like on ball guy, like when he wants to be. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. Let's go through the box score. Like against Boston, 3 points, 0 for 5. Against Detroit, 8 points, 3 for 9. Against Memphis, he had a good game, 16, 5 of 7. Against Golden
It's
State,
Memphis.
the one that we were
It's Memphis.
it's Memphis. It's also yeah, it's Memphis against Golden State, the team that we're all anticipating 1 of 9, 11% from the field. So like, I just don't think the offense is there. He wants to be a feature guy, but the offense has not proven that he's capable of
Yeah.
that. And
Which you could to play devil's advocate, which is something I'd love to do. His knee is obviously not healthy,
yeah, yes, I
and
I I agree. He doesn't have that burst.
they're managing that knee, but also as when has his knee been healthy?
Mike Dunleavy said it in his presser, like we're taking in a player with injury concerns. We sent out a player with injury concerns. And that was like we went. I think someone asked that like, why are you concerned that Porzingis can stay healthy? And Mike Dunleavy said it plain and simple, like you're trading one problem for another in that department. So I mean I think there's still time, but I was hearing stuff that Atlanta wants to offer him a big extension off of this team option they have with him,
Mm,
and I'm just kind of
mm,
like, do you really like? Are you going to sign him for? Is he a $20 million player? No, I don't think he's $20 million player, unfortunately. So that's another contract situation that's going to be interesting. And if we're doing this, who won the trade thing, and again, it's way too early to do this. The Warriors are getting productive value out of Porzingis, even if they're not winning. The guy that they got is way more productive for them than Jonathan Kuminga was for them. If we're just being
yes,
objective.
yes. And while the Warriors could use a wing in a way that very few teams I can say like they need a wing. I
Poor
still
Geese
think
Santos.
Guy Santos is the only one. Nate Williams,
Not
man, he
cutting it.
plays hard, but it was a bad Nate Williams game.
He plays really hard. He
Um,
just wasn't cutting it tonight.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I guess his oh, and Moses Moody, his last time we did this episode, uh, update came out. He had successful surgery and he will begin rehab. They said immediately. The press
Yeah.
release said it's a 9 to 12 month rehab.
Yeah.
If let's say we put it at 12 months, that means he would at that point come back early April.
Yeah.
There's a chance we just don't see him next year. That's a very big
Yeah.
possibility.
It's tough. We can't jump the gun on that, but it's a strong possibility. It's a hard injury to rehab. I like he's we're also not gonna hear any updates until training camp is what the Warriors said.
Mhm. Of
So that's pretty
course,
much
we also heard that about Jimmy Butler, and then we walk into the
showed up.
locker room in Washington, and there's Jimmy.
Yeah, we might get
Uh,
Moses at the end of the like probably at exit interviews. You probably might get Moses. I would maybe argue, but yeah, on Twitter he said Moses said, and I quote, "I appreciate all the love, every challenge I've been through in life. I'm glad I went through. I'm sure I'll feel the same about this." Uh, Strong arm emoji. So he's gonna attack this rehab as best as he can. He's more than capable of doing it. He's still young, only 23. So yeah, we're just wishing that dude the best. He's a great guy. He's
yep.
always a great quote. He
Hmm.
was very funny this year is the other thing.
Yeah, he
Funny guy.
very dry sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget the LeBron joke he made where he's like, "Yeah, I knew that it was going to happen."
Who did he say that
Yeah,
about again? Was it Gee?
I want to say it was Gee. It was one of the younger players that he's like, "Yeah, I knew that guy was going to be special." Oh no, it
Yeah.
was Macklin. It was Macklin.
Oh, it was Macklin. Yeah,
It
yeah. It
was
was Macklin
Macklin's younger
celebration.
brother,
Yeah.
young RJ. He was like, "Oh, right now, we're going so far afield." Last question, Kenzo.
Yeah.
They're going to come back. They have 2 days off, and then they're going to play the Spurs.
Yeah, God.
Wembanyama, is he the MVP?
I think you got to give this Shea just because the minutes thing is kind of crazy. Like Shea's has like a way more minutes on Wemby, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can make a pretty good argument for Wembanyama if we're being real. And I really hope he plays because these Chase Center games have been pretty dry. We've gotten the Nets, the Wizards, last week, and it was not fun to watch. So I just hope Wemby plays and we can watch that alien just go crazy on the floor. But maybe I think Shea has the edge, like just the minutes and the one seed and all that. So
I,
I wouldn't be mad if Wemby was MVP though. So
I just want to see Porzingis and Wembanyama
yeah.
battle in the post.
The
Um,
the it's like the prototype versus the the upgraded version right there.
yes.
Um, yeah, where can we find you, Joseph?
Find me at the Mercury News and East Bay Times, Bay Area News Group. You can find me on Twitter at Joseph_Dycus, DYCUS. Kenzo, where can we read your stuff?
ClutchPoints. You can find me on Twitter, Kenzo Fuku. We're gonna have some Valkyrie stuff soon. That's gonna heat up very soon. Stick around for the Warrior stuff, and yeah, this show is gonna keep on rolling. We're gonna be back courtside on Wednesday.